Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens. I'm a teacher and author, and this is English Nerd. So today I'm going to talk about what I think is the most important skill that you need in order to succeed in AP English Literature class. For years, I taught that class, 10 years I taught that class pretty successfully, and I've seen a lot of students come through. The thing that distinguishes people who do really well from the people who kind of struggle tends to come down to one thing, and that's what I'm going to share with you today and kind of give you a demonstration. So congratulations, by the way, if you're taking AP Literature this year. That's awesome. It is more of a skill-based class than a information-based class. So it's less memorizing, more practicing and building up your skills as the year goes on. So the skill that I would recommend you focus on is to find evidence in the literature, in the prose, in the poetry for your claims. Can you find good textual evidence in more than one place to support anything that you're saying? So it sounds simple, but a lot of times people will not refer back to the text often enough in big or small ways to support the things that they're saying. So for the example today, I'm going to use the Seamus Heaney translation of Beowulf. So let's say you're trying to establish what kind of a person Beowulf is based on his introduction, which we get in the line 260 region of the poem. I'm going to show it to you here as I'm reading a section. So what you can do is say, well, he is generous and very community oriented here, as you can see, and you have a quotation. That is definitely headed in the right direction. You've given a quotation, great, you've found some evidence, but I'm going to tell you how to take that further and how to really use that evidence to your advantage. Again, the skill that you're working on, that I would suggest you work on, is finding and using evidence to support your claims. So here is the passage that you're going to use for my example. The leader of the troop, we find out much later that his name is Beowulf, like 100 lines later. The leader of the troop unlocked his word hoard. The distinguished one delivered this answer. We belong by birth to the Yeat people and owe allegiance to Lord Hygelac. In his day, my father was a famous man, a noble warrior lord named Ecgtheow, etc., etc. So we're just going to take that little bit there, those 6 lines, and say, okay, so your claim is that Beowulf is generous, and your claim is that he is community-oriented. Great, cool. You can say, well, observe the book, but that's not good analysis. That's not going to fly for AP literature level writing and thinking as time goes on. So what you want to do is pinpoint what in those lines, what in that description actually tipped you off to that idea that he's generous and community-oriented. Let's take generosity first. The leader of the troop unlocked his word hoard. Unlocked his word hoard makes it sound like he has this hoard of words that he's literally unlocking and allowing to come out. So you wouldn't, well, I mean, people hoard all kinds of things, I guess, but especially with this kind of epic work, you know, you're not hoarding toilet paper, you're hoarding gold and things like that. And so a word hoard suggests that you have this precious thing kind of locked up inside and you're allowing that to come out. That would be an example of to prove that generosity. He's unlocking that word hoard and he's delivering an answer. So even the word choice to describe the fact that he's answering at all gives this impression that he is a generous person. So notice I didn't just go look at his whole introduction. I'm now going, look at this word choice, look at this metaphor, look how it all lends itself to agreeing with me and what I'm saying, that he's generous. The second claim that I'm making here as I'm analyzing his introduction is that he is community oriented. You can't just go, look, bunch of people. But again, that's not going to fly. There's no use for analysis if you can just point at the book and say, well, if you've read it, you'll agree. It has to be something that you have to prove more successfully. And so how can you find, identify, and use evidence to support your claims? Here, he does not answer the question of who you are and what are you doing here with, my name is Beowulf, I'm a great warrior, I'm going to help you out with your problems. Instead, he says, we. He starts off by including himself with the group that he's with. So we belong by birth to the Yeat people, and that is how you say it. If you're looking at that thinking you're out of your mind, it actually is the Anglo-Saxon way, which is not the important thing here. But we belong by birth to the Yeat people and owe allegiance to Lord Hygelac. So he is not introducing himself. He's saying all of us belong to this people group. We belong to this. We serve this leader. And then he goes on to talk about his father. So it's this people group, this leader, and he's starting to get closer to kind of introducing himself. But he's still talking about family lines and including himself in connection with other people. He's not associating himself as we often do with our job or our interests or our beliefs. Instead, he is introducing himself in terms of the people with him, the group that he belongs to, the leader of that group, his family, all these different individuals. And so you can point that out as evidence that community is a primary idea, central idea in Beowulf's life. And again, it's 100 lines later that we finally get his actual name. All right, so once again, practice finding that evidence, using it to your advantage, and making sure that you don't stop at the bare minimum. Really go into the weeds. Okay, what is it about this bit of text that makes you think the certain way? Start pointing out those very specific things, and then you'll be well on your way to doing well on the multiple choice, on every kind of essay. I mean, if there is one skill to practice, it is this. So hopefully this was helpful. That was the evil plan here. So if you want more tips and tricks for writing essays, analyzing literature, and all of that, make sure to subscribe. I come out with videos every Monday. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you soon.